welcome to another episode of The Pursuit. I'm Pastor Rick, joined here with Pastor Harper. Today we are in front of the green screen. Now you can see how the magic of technology makes this work in the cafe.
Yeah.
Somebody chose to wear green today. Otherwise now, if we went to the green screen, he would be see-through. Okay, so let's start with an icebreaker because we have a little bit of coldness in the room right now.
Yeah.
Let's get started with that. I think it's your week to pick our choice there.
No, actually, I did it last week. I remember that now.
Just do what you're told, okay? We got to do something with this dead air. Every time you read, there's dead air.
Well, I've got to read all three.
All right.
Also, I'm a slow reader.
Also, now we know.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
If you taught art class, what kind of art would you have everyone make?
That's so weird. My wife's an art teacher.
What?
You stop being it. So if I taught an art class,
What kind of art would you have everyone make?
well, that's the worst because I'm the worst artist on the planet. I'm not very good at it. I couldn't teach a person how to do this. But if it was going to be fun, I would just have them all just draw like comic book stuff, you know, like superheroes or whatever. That'd be the easiest thing to teach them.
Yeah.
Or we just do like sculptures and all make snakes.
Okay. And I think I would probably go with self-portraits. I would want them to do portraits of each other just to see how that works out.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I don't have to teach them how, right?
No,
If you
doesn't
taught
say
them,
that.
what kind of art would you have everyone make? Just have
Oh.
them make it. You don't have to teach them how to do it. Just
yeah.
have them do it.
It could be like the caricatures at the fairs and places
Yeah.
like that. That could be your
Yeah, so I
self-portraits.
think it'd be funny to have them paint each other and then look back and think, oh my word, that doesn't look anything like them.
That could be fun. You could lose some friends that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
That'd be great.
Well, take some time right now with your group to discuss, if you had to teach an art class, what kind of art would you have the students work on?
Well, this week, Pastor Kivett continued in our Beatitudes series with Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be sons of God. And as he talked about it, the first kind of thing we have to understand is the meaning of peace. And so as we talked about this, he kind of explained this definition. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but rather it's the presence of righteousness.
Yeah.
And so often we place this hope in when we think of peace, we think of that lack of conflict. Man, if this were right, if this person would agree with me, if this wasn't so difficult, then we could achieve peace. And the idea is, no. We're in a broken world. We are broken human beings. That's not where we find our ultimate peace. Our peace is found in what has already happened for us and has already been accomplished through Christ.
And he said later that the effects of righteousness is peace. So that righteousness has been given to us. He said the effects of righteousness is peace. When we are right with God and with other people, that is when peace comes. And so what we thought we'd like to challenge our groups with is to ask the question, what are you relying on apart from the righteousness of Christ to bring you peace? And as you mentioned, we sometimes think of peace as the absence of conflict and the absence of any kind of hostility. If everything is just right, then we have comfort. So I think honestly, we've almost mistakenly equated peace and comfort as the same thing.
Yeah.
So take some time right now with your group to discuss what are some things you're relying on to bring peace apart from the righteousness of Christ. Well, continuing in Pastor Kivett's sermon, he talked about that you can't be a peacemaker until you're a peace-filled person. So we do want to ask our groups of, what do they think themselves this way? But I want to ask you this question. Harper, would you consider yourself a peace-filled person?
Always.
It's your honesty that I've found most intriguing.
Is it? And my humility.
Yes, absolutely.
But no, there are times, obviously. It's one of those things where it just, again, it fluctuates and it's kind of back and forth and it depends. It depends on, And so you think of, okay, just certain situations, certain things going on. Again, going back to even what we talked about before, many times my inner peace or the peace within myself, like it feels like it's based on these circumstances outside of myself, and I base a lot of that and almost confusing that comfort with peace again. But yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah, I would say mine is very compartmentalized in the sense that you may never see me not being peace-filled.
Yeah.
But those who know me have had those moments where like, oh, I've heard him rant, I've heard him vent, I've heard him this. And so you would say, man, he's not being very peace-filled. That might be because I feel comfortable around these people to vent, but maybe that I'm just hiding it around others. The question I want to submit to our groups are, how can we be more peace-filled? Because we can't avoid conflict. It's not like if you know that every time you get behind the wheel of a car, you're going to get angry. Well, we might need to work on that. We can't just say, oh, don't drive anymore. Well, you're not going to go anywhere. But we have to somehow manage those things. So we thought we'd ask our group, how can we be more peace-filled? So take some time right now with your group and discuss what are some ways that you as individuals could be more peace-filled people.
Pastor Kivett talked about also being a peacemaker, not just being peace-filled. Of course, before being a peacemaker, you need to be peace-filled. And so now looking at how that flows out of our lives into others. And so how are we a peacemaker when we are with others? And one of the things he talked about in his sermon was about what Jesus left the disciples with. And kind of the last thing he talks about with them in John 14 is, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. And so that's one of the, his last things to his disciples. And so how important is that? And then going on and being, again, peacemakers with others as well, and those around us.
Yeah, because sometimes we're called to be peacemakers when we see conflict happening. Temptation, oftentimes when we see two people or others in conflict, we want to choose a side.
Yeah.
We want to find which team we're more aligned to. But really what we're called to do in this moment is to step in and help. So what we thought we'd ask our groups is, what can we do individually to be better peacemakers when we see that hostility that's inevitably going to come, whether you're at school, at church, at work, wherever, you're going to see hostility. What can we do as individuals to be better peacemakers? Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of The Pursuit. As always, you can watch previous episodes of The Pursuit by clicking the link provided on your screen.
And you can go back and watch past sermon videos. Make sure you're caught up with our Beatitudes series. Go back and watch those that you've missed. And then also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get these videos automatically. Hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.